Yo, what's good, y'all? It's E-Man, and I am back with another YouTube video, and today we are going to be ranking the best duelists in Yu-Gi-Oh! Classic. This is strictly Yu-Gi-Oh! Classic. I'm not counting any of the people from GX or V-Reigns or anything like that, but those videos might be coming in the future, who knows. I'm also going to try to make this video as objective as possible, so if your favorite duelist does not make this list, heck, my favorite duelist might not make this list. I'm making it as objective as possible. I've been a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan for a pretty long time, but I actually just rewatched Yu-Gi-Oh! Classic, so my information is pretty fresh. I'm pretty caught up on everything. So if you want more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get into it. So the first duelist on our list is Darts. Darts is obviously a skilled duelist. I just cannot put him up there with the other top 10 duelists in Yu-Gi-Oh! Every duelist in Yu-Gi-Oh! We've seen go against somebody 2, 3, maybe more times. The only reason I have him so low is because we've only seen him duel once. Granted, that was against the greatest duelist in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! But I mean, he was putting up a fight, but it's just not enough to go on. Not to mention, it was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Filler arc. Like, the filler in Yu-Gi-Oh! is very important, but they started throwing in cards that you don't ever see in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I just think it would be insane to put him any higher than this spot. So next up on the list, we got Maximilian Pegasus. If I was being biased, I would honestly put Pegasus even higher up on my list. He's another duelist that obviously has a lot of skill. We just haven't been able to see him duel enough. The only times that we see Pegasus duel, and I use duel very lightly, was when he actually dueled up against Yugi, but he was cheating insanely hard. He went up against Kaiba, but in Mokuba's body, also cheating very hard. And in the past, in a flashback, up against Bandit Keith, also cheating. So it's hard to really even rank him on this list. But in Kaiba's match up against him, he was using his brain and his deck of cards to go up against Kaiba, and he won. So that's gotta count for something. Also in his match with Yugi, Yugi was kind of finessing his way through that match with the Millennium Puzzle, so they were on equal terms, and he still fought a good fight. Not only is he the maker of duel monsters, so he knows everything there is to know about it, but he has cards in his deck that nobody else has. Like, his whole Toon deck are cards that never really got put out. So I can't say that he's any higher up than here. So Pegasus goes in our number 9 spot, but don't get it twisted. Pegasus is the GOAT, and he is my boy. Next best duelist we got is My Valentine. My Valentine is when we start getting into the good duelists of Yu-Gi-Oh! She can really hang with the big boys of duel monsters. She's no main character, but she's tough. We've seen her have ridiculously close matches with people like Yugi, Joey, and other main antagonists of the series. Not only that, but her and her Harpy ladies have some of the most synergy that we've seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! Classic at all. She may be in the 8th spot, but I think she's a significant leap above Pegasus when he's not cheating. Alright, so in our 7th place spot, we got what I believe to be a bit of a sleeper pick. We got that boy Noah Kaiba. Noah Kaiba is stepbrother to Mokuba and Seto Kaiba, and he's Gozuba Kaiba's blood son. Well, I don't know if I can call him a blood son because he doesn't have a body, but maybe his, like, brain son? Anyway, he's Gozubaro's son, but he got his brain uploaded into a supercomputer. Noah is one of the more interesting characters in Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially with that last duel between Seto Kaiba and Yugi. It's hard to say if he's the best or maybe even the worst duelist in Yu-Gi-Oh! The premise of that season was having a deck master, and Shinato, I think her name was a really cool deck master, and the way that he was going up against Kaiba looked like it was almost possible for him to win. I think he made it harder on himself using Mokuba as bait, because now you gotta go up against Seto Kaiba and Yami Yugi, which you just have no chance of winning now. His deckmaster Shinato's ability was to bring people back from the graveyard, and he could use all of his graveyard cards, and his battle strategy was just really good, but he kind of shot himself in the foot by cheating. If he would have used that super brain of his, then maybe he would have made it higher, but I think I'm gonna keep him at my number 7 spot. Next up, we got the number 6 spot belonging to none other than Raphael. He's not just a killer duelist, but he also plays with the utmost respect for his cards. He would rather take life point damage than let one of his monsters go to the graveyard. He had a bond with his monsters like no other. Anytime he summoned his Guardian Axe to get Guardian Grawl, or anytime that he boosted Guardian Yatos' damage points with the katana, like everything that he did was just so strategic, even at the deficit of taking so much life point damage because he didn't want his guardians to die. He whooped Yugi so bad that he used the Seal of Orichalcos. Yugi did, and still lost. Even though it was a filler arc, if you don't think that Raphael is a good duelist, I think you're crazy. And in speaking of crazy, the next duelist that we got on this list is Merrick. So Merrick may not be one of the greatest strategists in Yu-Gi-Oh, but the sheer power of his deck cannot be overlooked. He's got the strongest of the Egyptian god cards. I mean, how much better does it get? Even in his match against Mai, it almost felt like Mai could have won, but the fact that he has Ra in his deck, it was just too strong, and I gotta put him high up because Ra is too strong. A lot of Merrick's wins did get a little bit cheap and cheaty when he started sending people to the Shadow Realm and everybody just wasn't physically able to endure the energy that the Shadow Realm was giving off. Because Joey would have beat him if he didn't pass out at the last second. But he's still a decent strategist. His deck is insanely strong and he does have a lot of wins on his belt. So in the 4th place spot, we got none other than Joey Wheeler. I think out of all the characters in Yu-Gi-Oh, Joey has had the most growth as a duelist. He went from getting whooped by Kaiba and groveling on the floor like a dog to coming in 2nd in Duelist Kingdom. He's gone up against the best of the best like Yugi, Kaiba, even Merrick. And as a newcomer, winning against people like Weevil Underwood, Mako Tsunami, and Rex Raptor are huge stats. You would never think that this person fighting in Battle City is the same person that Yugi had to tell not to only put monster cards in his deck. Joey has gone through countless trials and tribulations that have made him better as a duelist and gotten him to the 4th place best duelist in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Next up on the list, we got the Blue Eyes White Dragon Master, Seto Kaiba. Holder of the ultimate Blue Eyes White Dragon, master of Obelisk the Tormentor, head of Kaiba Corp, Seto Kaiba has earned the right to call himself one of the best duelists in Yu-Gi-Oh! Kaiba is such a good duelist that even in the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! In Duelist Kingdom, Yugi had to use Exodia, which is basically just an instant win to beat Kaiba. I speak very highly of Joey. I think that he's a great duelist, but I can't look over the fact that Kaiba whooped him on Duelist Kingdom like it was nothing. But that was early in the day before Joey really got to turning up. We barely even got to see Kaiba fight in Battle City because he just trounced everybody with Obelisk. Kaiba's so good that he'll give his opponent the best cards just so that he can show them that they ain't shit. He comes into all his fights with such determination, and this is the reason that he beat Darts, that he beat Joey, and he even beat Yugi in some occasion. So he has to be in the number 3 spot. Ladies and gentlemen, next up on the list, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Yami Yugi. What else is there to say about him? He's Pharaoh. He's Yami Yugi. He's the holder of Dark Magician, Slifer the Sky Dragon, all of the above. Almost everybody on this list, I think everybody on this list, Yugi has beat at least once. He's the winner of Duelist Kingdom who fought his heart out to save his grandpa, the de facto winner of Battle City and the holder of all 3 Egyptian god cards. Yami Yugi is no less than great. Heck, if you told me that he was the greatest duelist in Yu-Gi-Oh! History, I couldn't even be mad at you. Even in matches that he's lost with dignity and went and got his get back. He's protector and pharaoh of Egypt and has so many wins on his belt that you almost can't even count them. You literally just be wrong to put him anywhere lower than second place. But there is one duelist that is better. The one person, the greatest duelist in all of Duel Monsters history. It is Yu-Gi-Moto. I gotta admit, putting Yu-Gi-Moto at the very top of the list is a bit bittersweet for me. On one hand, I love Yu-Gi-Moto, he's a great duelist, but on the other hand, I still feel like Atem is a better duelist, sue me. But he did beat him fair and square while Atem had all of the Egyptian god cards. So I guess he is technically the strongest duelist in Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though Atem has fought way more battles, that don't mean that Yugi's a bad duelist at all. We've seen him go against other duelists and win, and he even went up against Atem before, and it was a close match. Yugi is by far one of the best duelists in Yu-Gi-Oh! History, even without Pharaoh. But with Pharaoh there, I don't know, Pharaoh has gone way more rounds with way more people in way more Duel Monsters battles. But he beat Pharaoh, he's beaten many others, so the crown absolutely has to go to Yu-Gi-Moto. So that is the ranking. Please make sure y'all hit the comments, let me know who your favorite duelist is, who you think should have won, and make sure y'all hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be posting much more videos soon. So thank y'all for checking out the video, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.